Hi, Alex Plus LEDs here, and this is the version 3 of the Tomas Sidebar Kit. So as you can see here, you have the sidebars, and now we have RGB ears. The V3 is a little bit different from the V2. The V2 came as kind of separate pieces, right? You have the main sidebar and you have a separate sidebar. Now, it's all one. Looks like this. If you're curious about the dimensions of this, they are on the screen right now. This is the size of the sidebar. Because the left and right are mirror images of each other, it's the same dimensions. And this is the dimensions of the ears. Again, left and right, the same. I mean, it's also a circle, so how different could it be? Back to the kit. It's still powered by 3 AA batteries here with a little battery pack. You can switch it on and off, pretty easy. If you wanted to convert this to USB power, no problem. Just cut off these wires, get yourself a USB power cable, chop it, and then connect the red wire to the positive, which is typically red, the black wire to the negative, which is typically black. So that's how it kind of looks. The backside here, we still have these little connectors that you could pull to disconnect, but I recommend turning the whole kit off before pulling these out. Otherwise, there's a risk that you could damage some of the components by wiggling this around when it's, or unplugging it when it is powered on. So please turn off the kit prior to pulling these out. And you can pull these out like that, pretty easy. You might want to pull these connections apart if you need a little bit of extra room or something like that when you're mounting these into your helmet. Additionally, you can buy just the sidebars, or you could buy the sidebars and the ears. Oh, one more note, the version 2 is now discontinued, so only the version 3 is available. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the button pad that I haven't shown off yet. So here's the little button pad. It has a little pectoral for each one of the 3 zones. You have triangle, rectangle, and ear. So every time you push a button, it'll kind of flash here, and it'll indicate to you that you are pressing that button. Same thing for the rectangle piece, and same thing for the triangle or trapezoid piece. On the back side here, same buttons, you can do the same thing. But this is meant to be mounted a little bit more conveniently inside your helmet. Talking a little bit about the modes here. Each one of these 1, 2, 3 sections have their own modes, and you could toggle between them with ease. Each mode will, so if you boot the whole thing up, let's try that. So you boot the whole thing up, it's going to go into demo mode, it's going to go through each and every single one of the modes one by one, and then go back to the start. If you were to change the modes here, like that, the kit will stay in that mode indefinitely until you power cycle it or you press the buttons here. Simple enough. Let's talk a little bit about the ears. So as you can see here, these ears have these front-facing LEDs, right? Not much light comes out the side. You'll need one of these. This is an acrylic disc. I recommend getting one that's about 1/8 of an inch thick. This is 1/4 inch. This is way too thick for any helmet, but about 1/8 of an inch thick, clear acrylic, or if you have a 3D printer, you can 3D print out of clear PLA or clear ABS, or if you have a resin printer, you can print it out of clear resin. I don't offer these. Each helmet has slightly different dimensions for the outside, so I unfortunately can't offer these, but I could talk about them. If you want to get them laser cut, there are different companies, and there's a link below where you can get these sourced. Some of the companies, you could just send them an email, hey, I want a ring with this diameter and this thickness and this inner diameter and this outer diameter, and they should be able to help you make that without using a CAD file or anything like that. In this case, I have a clear acrylic ring. If you do that, go ahead and sand the outside edge with about 400 grit sandpaper to diffuse the light. So, and also apply a little bit of aluminum tape or aluminum foil on the front and back, and sandwich the printed circuit board on the inside. So here's one I prepared earlier, and then what I did was I took this, I added a dab of hot glue, and I glued it down here like that, so it's kind of in the middle, kind of like that. And the hot glue will keep it about in the middle of the assembly. So let me turn it off and plug in the ear here. And turn it on. And as you can see, the light is very evenly diffused throughout the whole disc here. Looks very good. Okay, I think this goes over pretty much everything. The one last thing I'll do at the end of this video is I will just let this whole thing run so you can see all the animations one by one.